Disappointing loss. We gotta get back to valuing the basketball. We actually, I thought, played really well in the first and the fourth quarter. I thought we played well enough in the first half to have a good sized lead, and they had 10, 11 more shot attempts than we did, and we had 14 turnovers at the half. So tonight, just not enough sharpness with the offense. And we got to get our passing up again. We're starting to, it's funny, the less we're passing the ball, the more we're turning it over, which shouldn't be the case, but we'll have to continue to clean that up as we move on.
Luke, in those middle quarters, was it that those turnovers, was that the biggest thing that shifted the defensive energy to?
No, it was everything. There was some turnovers. There were some selfish plays. There was a lack of energy on our part, and a little bit of all those things suck at the core of what we try to do. So, we spent the third trying to find different groups that would bring that energy we needed to compete in an NBA game and win. And eventually we got a group out there doing it. We got ourselves back in and happy with that effort, but just not a long enough stretch of good basketball tonight.
Those last 3-point looks by LeBron and KCP, are those shots you'll live with? Were you looking for something else there?
Oh, we'll live with those. Absolutely, we'll live with those. KCP is one of our best shooters. LeBron's one of the best, finishers our game's ever had. So if they get open looks, we'll take that. That's not why we lost the games. We missed those. Those are just, you hit those and you can find a way to steal that game back. But it was the second and third quarter why we lost tonight.
Luke, what did you think of your closing lineup? And obviously you didn't finish it, but the defense they provided down the stretch.
Yeah, they did a really nice job. I was trying to get Zoe back into the game. I thought Zoe was playing a very solid game, but that group had created some energy, and KCP was flying around. I know he wasn't making a lot of shots, but he had just hit a big three, and defensively he was flying around and fighting over screens and coming up with loose balls. So they did a really nice job of playing the type of defense we need to play in the fourth quarter to win games. We just had dug a little bit too big of a hole for ourselves.
And JaVale had the most blocks since Andrew Bynum back in 2007, but Vucevic still had a big game. What did you make of JaVale's night defensively?
Well, he covered up some of our mistakes, and he's done that for us all season. Vucevic is a tough matchup because he's popping and stretching that out to behind the 3-point line. So JaVale had a good game, but as a whole, we didn't do a good enough job on Vucevic to hold him. That's 2 games he's really hurt us this year now.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was just curious what you saw in those last 2 buckets by the who'd you play? By the Magic, and they had the drive by Ross, and then obviously the dunk.
Well, we had got. I got to look at the film and possession, but we had gotten the stop on one. They tipped it around. It was kind of a broken play. We were actually playing great defense. It just broke down, and in those type of situations when drive-bys happen, it's tough because you're not in your normal shell defense. The dunk was which? Tell me.
It was after KCP missed on one end, Tyson fell down.
Yeah, again, those are broken plays. They happen in the NBA, but the energy and the communication and the fight that we were playing defense with in the fourth quarter for the entire fourth was more of kind of where we've been heading, and unfortunately, the second and third were much more of what we looked like early in the season.
Luke, I think you had 5 guys miss at least 1 free throw. How big is that? How important is that?
Oh, yeah, it's big. It's huge. It's the turnovers. It's missed free throws. Those are the things we're killing ourselves. It's we play hard enough and we play well enough. Now we didn't tonight, I don't think, for the majority of the game, but this is a couple games in a row now. It's like you lose a close game, you miss 11 free throws. Those are free points. We got to step up and knock those down. You have 18 turnovers. They shoot an extra, 14 times than we do in a game, even though we're making our shots and scoring, shooting a high percentage. it's tough to overcome when another team gets that many more shot attempts than we do. So, we're doing some things well. There's been some slippage, obviously, and we'll keep working at it.
Before the game, you made a comment that you didn't feel like someone talked about how good you guys have been at closing, and you made the comment that you didn't feel like you guys were quite there yet. Were you seeing things at the end of this game that you that are kind of what you were talking about, things that need to get better for you guys to actually be really solid closers?
No, tonight we closed we closed the game fine tonight. We missed shots. We had open looks by good shooters, and we just didn't make them on the offensive end. We cut into a big lead. We got out and ran, which is what we want to do. We don't want to get tight and slow down the stretch of a game. We want to continue to push the pace, get out and run. And defensively, we made stops. They got a big offensive rebound, but the ball got deflected around. Those things are tough to control when 10 guys are flying around. But I thought we did a fine job closing tonight. We had just dug that hole too big before we got to the fourth.
If I'm remembering correctly, a lot of that comeback early in the fourth was with small ball lineup with Brandon and Kyle as your bigs. What matchup-wise do you think kind of allowed those guys to spur a comeback and get it close?
Well, they're versatile, and they can guard a lot of players. We were going to stay small as long as Vucevic was not on the floor. I'm probably butchering his name. I apologize. But he, as soon as he came back, we tried to go small in Orlando, and he killed us when we were trying to come back there. He was punishing us again tonight. So we were going to stay small as long as he was on the bench. But once he got back in the game, we were going straight back to JaVale.
Luke, are the free throw issues, is that something you can work on in practice, or what's the solution to that?
Well, you practice for sure. You get better at things by practicing. And then just as players, you take that responsibility, you step up, you knock them down. But yeah, guys practice free throws, you get better at them.